Great. Okay, so we're going to start sitting. So find a comfortable, easy way to sit. Maybe you have to put blocks and then a blanket on top of them. Maybe just a blanket, maybe a pillow. Maybe you're going to sit on the edge of your bed or a chair or whatever's in your room. So start in one position and attempt to settle in. And then we'll use the breath to move a little deeper. Following the breath from beginning to end and using those exhales to settle into the earth. So your hips, your legs, your sitting bones, resting on the earth or the prop beneath you. We try to move it around a little and settle into a stillness. And then use the breath to scan your body. What do you notice? Is there a tugging that can soften with the exhales? Or do you need to find a different way to bring a more peaceful bend to your knee or your hips or your back? Finding the earth beneath you. What went through your head when I said you were going to start sitting? You have all these judgments and expectations, and maybe you went to, that's not so comfortable for me, or something to that effect. Is that true now? Is there some truth to this is not so comfortable and easy? Can you find a way to make it easier? Or maybe you're coming to your back. Maybe that would be the easiest, most peaceful way to connect to the breath. Using those exhales to soften. And then gently with the next exhale, the belly just brings awareness and gathers a little, and we root down so that with your next inhale, you can lengthen up and you actually feel the heart lengthen away from the belly and become a little lighter over the hips. The shoulders are soft. The shoulder blades are active without efforting so that there's some space for the breath to fill across the chest. There's a soft jaw. Maybe the chin dips slightly to the notch in the collarbone. Finding the most easeful way for you to sit right now. Becoming aware of any tension or efforting and trying to let it go with the exhale so that there's a rooting down and a lengthening up and an easy movement of the breath to fill the lungs completely. A long spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Connected to the earth and lifting to the sky. The wise heart between the two. Breathing into that space, allowing your natural rhythm and feeling that echo throughout the body. And maybe you came to your practice with an intention, a hope for your mind, your body, your spirit. Shortening that to a word or a phrase and placing it in an I am statement. Repeating it softly to yourself a few times as if it were true and already happening. Breathing it in and letting it go. Just starting with the poem that was in the reading I shared with you, whether or not you got to it. Written in the 8th century. The nation is destroyed. Mountains and rivers remain. Can we find the beauty that is always there, the peace that exists deep within us? Is it wise to find some stillness, to tap into that beauty? With your next inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and extend up. Up is relative. Exhale, float the palms together to the heart center. And then inhale, out, around, and up. Maybe your eyes are closed. Maybe with your next inhale, they lift to the sky and follow the palms through the heart center to rest there. The gaze at the tip of your fingers, taking them in, and the earth beneath you, and then lifting to find the gazing point ahead of you. Allowing the hands to float to the floor, maybe you're on fingertips. Recommitting to the foundation through the hips, soft shoulders. We won't stay here too much longer. Inhale the right arm alongside your ear. Nice, soften the arm in the shoulder socket. As you inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, float over to the left. Keep the right hip grounded. Does that feel a little different? As you breathe into the right side body, let the right ear come towards the right arm. Yes, nice. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, maybe bending that elbow, maybe going a little deeper, exploring. Inhale up to center. Exhale, float that arm down, roll through the shoulders. Let that side go. Let the shoulder blades soften down the back and together. The right hand floats to the floor as we inhale the left arm up. Recommit to that foundation. Find the core that supports you and allows you to extend up out of the hips, out of the lower back, so that when you exhale, you're opening up through the side body. Keeping weight in the left hip. Inhale there. Exhale, maybe floating deeper. Left ear towards the left arm. Soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone. Breathing into that left side body. Maybe opening up the heart towards the ceiling. Just notice what happens in the body as you explore. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, float it down. Roll through those shoulders again. Find them settled onto the back body. Let's go ahead and let the feet come to one side, the hips to the other, so you can walk yourself over, remove your prop, and come over onto all fours. Setting up your foundation for your tabletop. What does that mean for you? Scan your body with your inhale. Can you soften and surrender to the pose, and yet still keep the integrity and the support that you need? With your exhale, tailbone, top spine rounds to the ceiling. Maybe you even drop the top of the head. Maybe you're staying with pelvic tilts. That's too much for you right now. Moving in and out of your expression of cat and cow or pelvic tilts as you explore the back body and what you've brought to your practice today. Maybe in your mind's eye, you can see one vertebra at a time lifting and one vertebra at a time softening towards the earth. The heart lengthening between the arms on that inhale. Maybe the gaze gently lifts. Exhaling one vertebra at a time throughout the breath. The image of muscles softening, lengthening, breath moving freely. What do you need to do to bring a little more ease into this flow, a little more flow into the flow? You let go of judgments and expectations and just move with your body. Meet your body with your breath today. And then finding stillness there and allowing the left hip to draw to the left shoulder. You feel the shortening of the left side body, the contraction of those muscles. Inhale to neutral spine. Exhale, right hip to right shoulder. Moving from side to side with your breath, exploring the pivot in the lower back. Keeping the shoulders right where they are, the gaze to the space between the hands, trying to isolate the movement to the hips, rocking side to side or contracting one side and then the other as we start to open up through that lower back. And then finding stillness there. Walking the left hand underneath your heart space, whatever feels right for you, so that you can inhale that right arm straight out, extending out from the collarbone, not forward, not back. Recommit to that foundation. You'll find the muscles working in that shoulder, a lift of the back body a little to the ceiling. Maybe you're staying right here. This is enough work for you. Find the breath. Maybe with your inhale, the right fingertips float to the ceiling as they take the ride of the heart opening. Not because you're moving the arm in the shoulder socket, but because you're opening up the heart to the right. Soften the gaze to the floor. One more inhale here. Find an easeful place to breathe. Exhale, float that arm down. Let that side go. Walking the right hand right underneath the center. Inhaling, the left arm extends off the collarbone. Commit to that right hand. Become a little active. With your next inhale, the heart opens to the left. The arm comes along for the right. Does this feel okay for you? What do you need to do to make it more easeful? Maybe the hand floats to the lower back. You know the modifications. You know how your body feels. Find a peaceful way to take one more inhale and exhale, float it down. Walk the hands forward, one hand print. If you haven't padded your knees, please take the time to do that, sorry. Maybe the big toes touch and the knees walk wide, and you exhale, reach the hip creases back until they soften towards the heels. Inhale there, pause, lengthen the sternum away from the belly button. Exhale, bow to the earth. Finding child pose. And then take a couple of breaths here, scanning your body. If your arms are extended, how does that feel right now? Maybe you need to bend the elbows and allow the forearms to rest on the earth. Maybe you need to slide those elbows back a little to find more ease in the shoulders. There's always someplace else to go. What works for you? We always have choices. Maybe we know where we want to go. We have a vision of what the pose might look like someday, but we're okay with using the breath to mindfully move in that direction and let go of expectations and be okay with, I might never get my hips to settle on my heels. I might never have my forehead rest on the floor. Is it necessary? Can we just meet our bodies and find the beauty that already exists there, allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space? With your next exhale, gather the belly. With your inhale, slide the hands back a little, come up onto all fours, walk the knees back under the hips if they were wide, and take some hip circles here. Just move it around in an organic way. Maybe that means you're sliding around in your spine as well. Maybe it's a straight spine and you're just moving in the hips. Explore it. Maybe you're adding a little gentle cat-cow. If you move slowly and mindfully with the breath, you can explore a little different place to go. Being curious about where your body is today. Reverse the circles if you're going in circles. Finding stillness there. Let's fire up the core a little bit more. Moving deeper as we inhale, that left leg extends, the toes curl under, we reach into that heel. Maybe you're already guessing where we're going. Can you let it go and just enjoy the journey? Let the breath guide you. Keeping the shoulders right where they are, active through your foundation. Exhale and inhale, lift that left leg. Straight out of the hip so that you're not coming into the lower back. Drawing that right hip crease back a little. And maybe with your inhale, you're able to extend that right arm. Finding an easy way to be in the pose. Gazing to the floor, strong and long. With your exhale, maybe the elbow and the knee float together under the belly. With your inhale, you extend back out. Maybe the right hand comes down and you're just moving the leg. But you're moving slowly with intention, mindfully using that core body as you hug the belly in enough to draw that knee forward so the back is always supported. One more round like this, or maybe you've come into stillness and then floating the knee and the arm down and inhaling up over your knees. Let that go, roll through the shoulders a few rounds. And forward a little. And inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, let it go. Interlace the fingers to the webbing. Reverse the finger on top. Roll through those wrists. Reverse the circles. Inhale, reach the heel of the hand forward. Fingertips to ceiling. Exhale, fingertips to floor. Yeah, soften through the arms and just isolate the movement to the wrists. Yeah, nice. Shake it out, let it go. One more shoulder loop and soften there. Exhale, belly gathers. Inhale, lift through the heart, extend through the crown of the head, and exhale, bend forward at the hips. Come back down to your tabletop. Set yourself up. Secure foundation. Active muscles engaged to keep you safe, but no over-efforting. With your inhale, shoulders stay where they are, and just the right leg extends out of the hip. Curling the toes under and reaching into that heel, gentle stretch into the back of the calf. Just noticing, have you lost your foundation? Draw that left hip crease back, keep it there. Inhale, lift the right leg straight out of the hip. How's the breath? Maybe lifting the left arm is accessible for you today. Exploring. Maybe that's not where you need to be. Soften the arm and the shoulder socket. Extend into the right heel. Lift the thumb to the ceiling. Exhale, maybe knee and elbow float together. They don't have to touch underneath the belly. Inhale, extend. There's a gentle, natural rounding without compressing. Hug the belly in. The gaze stays right where it is so that you know you're not collapsing through the throat or over-efforting sternum to belly. Keeping the front body long. Okay, rounding through the lower back to make it more accessible. One last time, or maybe you've come to stillness, float that arm down and find an expression of child pose. Use the breath to move slowly, mindfully, journeying to come to rest on the earth. One breath at a time. Keeping the image of child pose and meeting your body wherever it is today. Finding the breath, filling the back. Filling the back of the heart. Filling the lungs completely. Maybe you feel the breath echo all the way into the lower back. And there's a gentle softening and a release. Exhale there and inhale back up onto all fours. If you have blocks or books, you might want to use them underneath your hands so we can explore some gentler lunges. Yes. If anyone would like to buy my blocks, I'm not sure if what I'm doing, but I'm willing to sell some of my blocks if you need them. Just so you know, I can always drop them off at the Bates house or something like that. If you can't get them online or wherever. Great. Okay, so blocks are under your hands. You're setting yourself up. So we already said lunges. What thoughts, feelings come into your mind when we say lunges? Can you let that go and just be curious about what your body allows today? We're inhaling that left leg back again, keeping the shoulders right where they are, reaching into that heel as we curl the toes under. Same work. Keep the gaze right where it is. As you exhale, the belly gathers, the lower back opens, that foot starts to step forward, and you help it all the way forward between the blocks. Shoulders slide away from the ears, And inhale, heart lengthens away from the belly. Maybe you're staying right here, knee is over ankle. Maybe you have some space to curl the toes under on that right foot and walk that right knee back to settle into that right hip a little deeper. How does this feel? Do you notice? If your wrists are bothering you, there's too much weight in that foundation. With your inhale, lengthen the sternum away from the belly, soften through the shoulders, and find a gentle lift off of that left thigh. So the core is supporting you now. You're not depending just on the arms. How does that feel? Maybe you're staying right here, exploring this expression of lunge, drawing that left hip crease back, lengthening through the left side body. Maybe with your exhale, that left leg straightens a bit. With your inhale, you're coming forward to a bent knee and lifting the heart. Exhale, drawing that left hip crease back as you straighten the leg. Inhale. This is your practice. As long as you keep your knee over the ankle as it bends, then you're safe. No efforting. The next time you inhale forward, find stillness. Exhale there, let one hand and then the other float to the thigh. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly. Maybe extend the arms so the shoulders come more over the hips. Are you safe? Do you feel supported? Do you need to straighten that knee a little? Nice. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're inhaling the arms out to the side, reaching through the fingertips and floating them up overhead. Full expression of warrior one. Does this feel good for you? Maybe you bring your arms into cactus and the breath moves a little more freely and you're rooting into that left foot at the top of the right foot. And inhale, lifting and lengthening through the crown of the head. With your exhale, the palms of the hands float together at the heart center. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale over that left knee. How's that for you? Maybe you're going to open to the right instead. Find some ease in the hips, knowing that the twist comes from the waist up. Nice. Next time you inhale to center, find stillness. Exhale, hug the belly in. Float those hands down slow with control and intention. Inhale there. Exhale, step, slide, walk that left foot back. Shake it out, wag your tail, roll, let it go. How did that feel? Maybe you try with the blocks a little higher. Would that give you more space and ease? Maybe. Inhale, the right leg floats back. Curl the toes under, reach into that heel. Exhale, belly gathers, knee hugs forward, and we help that foot all the way forward. Blocks are on either side of the foot, underneath the shoulders. Palms press, heart extends, lengthens away from the belly. Does this feel good? Do you have space to walk or slide that left knee back? Come a little deeper into the left hip crease. Soften the back of the neck. Draw that right hip crease back. Exhale, straightening into that right leg. Maybe this side's a little different. Inhale, floating forward. Exhale, floating back. Moving with your breath, exploring your hips, keeping that foundation, using the core so that you're not sinking into and relying on those arms. Blocks can come as high as you need. They can come all the way up to free up the movement. We need to adjust for our anatomy, our body, leading your body wherever it is. With your next inhale, find stillness. Root into that right foot, the top of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly, one hand, and then the other comes onto that right knee. Maybe you need to straighten that knee a little. Soften through the shoulders as they come over the hips. Find a gazing point, adjust your foundation, and then commit to it. The muscles in the legs are gathering, are hugging to the bone. The right hip crease is drawing back, and we inhale, the ribs lift out of the hips. Maybe the arms extend straight out of the collarbones. Maybe with your inhale, they float up, soften. The chin soften to the notch in the collarbone. Arms in their shoulder sockets. Maybe they float into cactus. Still open across the heart space. Maybe with your next exhale, the hands float to the heart center. Inhaling, lifting through the crown of the head. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhaling from the waist up. The heart reaches to the right. Chin stays in alignment with the fingertips. Shoulders soft. Thumbs rest against the upper chest so that you know you're not twisting with the shoulders. Nice. One more time like this, maybe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, float the hands to the block. Inhale there and exhale, step, slide, walk that right foot back. Shake it out, let it go. Sit onto the heels, work the wrists, whatever you need to do. Nice. Walk the hands forward, as if you could slide the top of the mat away from you. The arms extend, the hip creases reach back, and then soften the arms in their sockets, but keep them active. Long spine. Maybe you curl the toes under. Maybe this is where you stay. Rooting through the pads of the fingers, the joints at the base of the fingers, that space between pointer finger and thumb. Exhaling, maybe the belly gathers and the knees lift. And inhaling, we straighten the legs, reaching the hips up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling, downward dog or not. How's the breath? How's the body? Maybe you need to stay in this extended child pose, puppy dog, whatever you want to call it. And working towards just lifting the knees and putting them down. Strengthening the muscles that wrap around the shoulders, right? We're not meant to walk on our hands. We don't use our arms in that way. So find a place that works for you. If you're in downward dog, maybe you're bicycling it out, right? Don't wait for me to find an organic way to settle into the pose. Maybe coming to stillness wherever you are. Finding the breath. And exhale, meeting in child pose. Knees can be wide, knees can be together. Your practice, your body, your breath. Maybe you need to make the exhales a little longer than the inhales. Easy breath in, smooth breath out. Aware of the thoughts, honoring them, allowing them to soften. Your choice, coming to stand through downward facing dog or tabletop and stepping a foot forward, using blocks, if that helps you. Moving slowly and mindfully, inhaling a leg, doesn't matter. Maybe you're trying something different. If you always step forward with the right, maybe stepping forward with the left. So you exhale and step that left foot forward. Inhale, find length, curl the toes under, straighten into that other leg, high lunge for a breath. Exhale, step that foot forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Find the foundation through the feet, draw the shoulder blades onto the back, soften them away from the ears, root down, inhale, come all the way up. Roll through the shoulders. Soften them down the back. Find the foundation. Maybe the feet step a little wider or closer together. Root through the circumference of the heels and lengthen through the crown of the head. Fingertips float towards the floor. And maybe with your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. And with your exhale, they float through the heart center. Inhaling, soften through the fingertips. Maybe the palms lift. Exhaling, bringing the energy through the heart center. One more round like this, moving with the breath. And then allowing the fingertips to extend to the earth. Let the hands float to the hips and walk the feet lengthwise the long side of the mat. Let the toes angle out, so pivot the feet so they point to the corners of the mat. Shoulder blades slide up, back, and down. We root into the feet and exhale, bend into the knees as they draw to the room and back of you, coming into goddess pose. How does that feel? How are your knees? Do you need to adjust the feet so the knees are a little more over the ankles? Inhale, straighten through the legs slowly so you don't lock them out. Maybe the arms float up into goddess arms. Nice. With your inhale, reach through the fingertips. With your exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Inhale, reach through fingertips, slowly straightening the legs. Exhale, knees track to the room and back of you as they bend. Inhale, so that we're opening up through the inner thigh muscles, opening up across the heart space, long spine. Maybe it's just a very small movement, an inch or two, that you bend the knees. Find a peaceful way to flow in and out of this pose with the rhythm of your breath. Next time you come into goddess, find stillness there. Float the hands together at the heart center. Recommit to that foundation through the soles of the feet. Inhale there, exhale, heart to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, heart to the left. One more time, each side. What do you notice? Small movement. Maybe one more time or not. Coming to stillness there, root into the feet. Inhale, straighten through the legs, heel, toe, walk the feet together. Let it go. Roll through the shoulders, land in your Tadasana. Find a gazing point ahead of you or softly close the eyes. Become aware of the circumference of the heels, and we find the connection to the earth. As the legs become active and rooted, we can lengthen the ribs out of the hips and float over them. Breath smooth and even. Softness to the back of the neck as the chin gently dips. Can you breathe into the side ribs? Can you breathe into that space just below the last rib and allow a complete breath filling the front and back of the heart space? And still keep that foundation, the active legs without efforting. It's a goal. It's something to see at the horizon. Maybe you're not there yet. We don't judge it. Just use the breath to soften, to find the strength that you need for the foundation so that you can lift and lengthen. And with your next inhale, keeping that foundation, we allow the arms to float out, around, and up. And then come straight out, parallel to the floor, right out of the shoulders. And then draw the shoulder blades to the center of the back. Foundation roots down. We lengthen up. With your exhale, the hip creases reach back. We bend the knees and come into chair pose. Inhale, float up to stand without locking the knees. Exhale, hips reach back, weight in the heels. Inhale, weight comes back into the toes as we come back up. Nice. Exhale, reach back, heart lifts. Inhale, maybe arms lift as well. Exhale, arms shoulder height, hip creases reach back, heart extends. Inhale. One more time, settling into your expression of chair pose, coming to stillness there, as if you had a block between the thighs. The inner thighs hug without the knees touching, actively supporting you. Exhale, maybe bend the knees a little deeper. Inhale, heart lifts a little higher. Come all the way up to stand. Float those arms down. Shake it out. Sigh out the breath. Land in your Tadasana. Big inhale. Softening exhale. Root down. Lengthen up. Breathe into the heart space. Scan your body. What sensations are you aware of without judging them? Just noticing. Can you find a peaceful, easy way to be in this pose? Where are you gripping or holding? Can you let that go? Jaws, fingers. It doesn't mean collapsing, still having integrity, just no effort. Nice. Walking the feet nice and wide again, and pivoting the right foot to the top of the mat. Maybe the left heel comes out a little further than the toes. Find your foundation, something that feels safe for you. Hands float to the hips, shoulders soften up, back, and down. Exhale, root into those strong legs. Inhale, lift the ribs. Exhale, heart floats a little to the left. Shoulders stacked over the hips, over the legs. Inhale, extend through the arms. Maybe your ankles are under your wrists. That's another vision of the pose that we strive for, to get open legs. It's a goal, we never have to get there, but something to reach for. What happens when you have something that's inaccessible? Where does your mind body go? Soften through the shoulders, root into the pinky toe side of that left foot. Exhale, bend into that right knee. Warrior two. Warrior. Graceful warrior. How does that change the pose? Does it change the pose? Finding your graceful expression of warrior. And then moving with that grace, guided by the breath, to float into your peaceful warrior. Right arm lifts, left arm softens. We breathe into that space we created, maybe floating back as we root into that right leg. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, finding space in the right side body. With your inhale, we float into your warrior two. Exhaling, moving with your breath to find your peaceful warrior. Maybe taking a round of breath to settle there, moving in and out in a way that feels organic for you, linking the movement to your breath, floating in and out. And so what if you're not doing exactly what everyone else is doing? Let that go. Thank warrior two, peaceful warrior. Strong foundation, lower half of your body stays rooted without adding effort. And we flow with the breath in the upper body, with the arms or not. Changing the gaze from the over the right hand to up, following the fingertips, following the right arm. Maybe one more round like this. Maybe you've come to stillness, right? Don't wait for me to suggest it. And then straightening that right leg, pivoting the right foot, toes to face the long side of the mat, and the left foot to face the short. So we can come into warrior two on the other side. Reconnect to the foundation. Exhale, settle the hips straight down as that left knee bends. Legs stay active. What happens if you don't root into the feet? Can you feel the muscles in the legs relax so much that you just sink into the hips? Press into the feet again, you pop up a little, the muscles engage and keep you from hanging on the hips. Inhaling, we find our graceful expression of warrior two. Take what you need, let go of the rest. Legs are wide. Left knee is bent over the ankle. Arms extend, heart is open. Finding the breath, floating into peaceful warrior. Right arm softens, left arm lifts. We lengthen and flow deeper if we have the space, if it's available. Not because the arm bends and draws us over, but because the thoracic body opens through the left side and allows us to come deeper. Inhaling, Finding your warrior one again. Committing to that foundation and the strength and support from the soles of the feet to the hips, so you can float from the waist up with the breath. In and out of warrior two and peaceful warrior. Maybe pausing to find the breath. Aware of how your neck feels. Is your head on straight? Keeping a long spine, even as it opens, so that we're not compressing. We're lengthening and strengthening those muscles that support us throughout the core body. Next time you inhale into your warrior two, soften there. Float the arms down, straighten that left leg. Heel toe, step the feet together. Find Tadasana. Land in the soles of your feet. Let the arms extend or come to the heart center. Whatever helps you to connect to the breath. Finding a gazing point or softly closing the eyes. Gently blinking the eyes open and walking to the top of your mat. Reaching through the fingertips. Having the blocks on either side, if you would like to have them to come down to the floor. We're going to flow through some sun salutes, half sun salutes. Even when I don't suggest it, right? The props are always there to make the poses more accessible to you, to keep you safe. Rooting down, we find the circumference of the heels and become aware of it connected to the earth. With your inhale, the arms float up. With your exhale, as the hip creases reach back, the heart and the crown of the head extend forward into your half forward fold. Inhaling there. Exhaling, rooting down, active legs. Maybe with your inhale, the arms extend alongside your ears, challenging that core body. Maybe they come into cactus and that feels better for you. Are the bottom front ribs floating to the floor? Can you draw them up to the ceiling for more support to the back body? Can you lift the backs of the arms towards the ceiling without efforting? Soften the jaw and the back of the neck. Root into the feet. Inhale, float all the way up. Exhale, heart center. Take it or leave it. What do you need for your body today? Same flow or different? Rooting down. Inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. Exhale, we swan dive forward. Root down. Find the support that you need, keeping arms in cactus or extending them alongside the ears as you reach the hip creases back. Strong legs. Root into them and inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, find your heart center. Sigh the breath out. Lengthen with the inhale, float the arms up. Last time, exhale. Hinge forward, hip creases reach back, crown of the head extends, front ribs hug up. Strong legs. What happens when you say strong legs? Weight in the heels. Inhale there, exhale. Hands float to blocks or the floor as you bend the knees a little deeper. Keep the heart extended, the throat open. Step one knee back and then the other. What does your body need right now? Child pose or downward facing dog? Set yourself up, find the foundation, move with the breath into the pose that your body needs now. Slowly, mindfully, with intention. Deep breath in, soft breath out. Everyone meets in child pose if you're not there. Walk the knees a little bit more together if they're wide. Walk the arms, extend the arms forward so that they're lifted off the floor. And then walking them over to the left, keeping them shoulder width and reaching that hip crease back and down. Breathing into the right side body. Softening with the exhales. Inhaling back to center. Hip creases stay right where they are. Left hip crease reaching back and settling down as we walk both arms over to the right, shoulder width. The head between the arms. Breathing into the left side body. Finding a peaceful way to rest in the pose. To allow the body to soften and open. Inhaling back to center. Walking yourself up to sit onto the heels, letting the, coming up to over the knees, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, tops of the feet rest on the floor, shoulders soften up, back, and down. Let the palms of the hands or the knuckles float to the lower back. Draw the elbows and the shoulder blades together. Hips stay right there over the knees with a natural curve in the lower back. We inhale and lift the heart to where the wall meets the ceiling. Soften the back of the neck, chin towards notching the collarbone. Keeping the hips right where they are, we inhale, lift the ribs, the shoulder blades under the heart, floating the heart to the ceiling. Your expression of back bend. Meeting your body with the breath. No efforting in the back of the neck. If the head is back, the chin is lifted a little towards the ceiling so you're not collapsing. Exhale there. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, bend at the hips. Come into tabletop. Find your expression of cat and cow, wag your tail. What do you need to do to let that back bend go? So hugging the belly in, tilting the tailbone up without coming into a deep back bend again, right? We want to find the counter pose and then finding child pose. Allowing the back body to be long. Softening the muscles, allowing them to regain their length. With your inhale, walk yourself all the way up. Let the hips float to one side and the legs extend straight out in front of you. Maybe you pause here to find the sitting bones. Bend in the knees, flex the feet. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Long spine, soft jaw. Maybe with your next inhale, you can reach into the heels and straighten the legs a little more. How does that feel? Maybe not. Core supports you to come out of that lower back. And then, bend that left knee, slide the foot towards the hip, and let the right foot come to the left knee. Yes? So now you're kind of over on that right hip. Left hip is lifted. Just let your body go where it naturally goes. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Don't worry if it's not exact. Find a comfortable way to be here. Maybe you need to put a block under that left hip or a blanket. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, let the heart float towards the right knee. And then fold forward a little with the breath. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly. Exhale, walk a little closer to the earth. Reach that left hip away. What do you feel? What do you notice? Soften. Maybe you bend the elbows and bow forward a little. Maybe not. Gaze to the floor. Maybe you're able to extend that left arm a little straighter. Breathe into the side body. Exhale, gather the belly. Inhale all the way up. And we'll reverse it. So the legs float out in front of you. And we bend the right knee so the foot comes to the hip. And the left foot comes to the right knee. And then find a comfortable way to be here, resting on the right hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, heart floats over that left knee. We keep that length and walk the hands forward. Pause, breathe. Float deeper as your body allows. Maybe bending the elbows. Do you feel, what do you notice? Maybe extending that right arm straight for a deep stretch in the right side body. Soften the back of the neck and the jaw. No expectations, no judgments, just what feels good. Allow the breath to move. Exhale, gather the belly, walk yourself up and forward. And extend those legs straight out in front of you. Shake it out, let it go. Roll through the ankles, knees are bent. Still integrity, right? Long spine, lift through the crown of the head, shoulders soft. And the toes open, curl them in. Haven't taken care of the feet in a long time. With your, let the soles of the feet come to the floor. With your exhale, carve the belly out, float yourself down or roll over onto one side and come to rest flat on your back. Sigh the breath out, land on the earth. Deep breath in, soft, releasing breath out. With your next exhale, gather the belly and draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Get some movement if that feels good. Making circles, rocking from side to side. Just exploring the back body, the hips as they rest safe on the earth. And then find stillness there. Allow the feet to float to the floor with bent knees, arms rest. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath the heart and away from the ears. Exhale, sternum roots to the earth, lower back rests. Inhale, right leg straight up to the ceiling. We'll make some circles through that ankle. Slow and mindful. Reverse the circles. Find stillness there, fan the toes out, curl them in. And then flexing that foot, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Letting that right knee soften away from you, breathing into the right hip without rocking over onto the right hip. Still rooted to the sacrum, equal weight in both hips. Maybe you have some space to walk that left heel a little closer. Maybe it's in your practice to take the bind, but there's no efforting in the shoulders or the jaw. Working into the lower back and the hips, maybe the outer thigh. What do you notice? How's the breath? Maybe you like to move in and out of this pose and you release any bind and you allow the left knee to float to the floor and the right foot as if it could stand on the floor. That right knee still extends. Inhaling, coming up to center. Exhaling as if you could stand that right foot on the floor. Maybe one more round like this, maybe not. Your body, your practice. And then floating into stillness. Inhaling, extending that right leg, reach, lengthen, exhale, bend the knee, float that foot to the floor. Inhale, left leg extends, reaches to the ceiling, making some circles through the ankle, one direction and then the other. Fanning the toes out, curling them in. Coming to stillness there. Keeping that left foot flexed and crossing it over the right thigh. Pausing there, scanning your body with your breaths, maybe staying right here, equal weight in both hips, sacrum rooted, maybe walking that right heel a little closer to the sitting bone. How does this feel? Maybe it's in your practice to take the bind. Maybe you like to float the right knee over to the right as if you could stand that left foot on the floor. No efforting. Inhale up. No forcing. Exhale over. Meet your body. Is this side a little different than the other? What are you aware of? Can you find a more peaceful way to flow? Using the breath to guide you. Next time you inhale up, find some stillness. Extending that left leg straight up to the ceiling. One more time, bend the knee, float that foot to the earth. Inhale there, exhale, knees hug in. Getting some movement or not. Keeping the knees over the hips. As if you were sitting in a chair, palms resting on the knees. Soften through the shoulders, let them rest on the floor. Soften through the back of the neck. Make some small circles. Using the core to support you. And then reverse those circles. Let the left foot float to the floor. The right knee is still over, right? Exhale, press the thigh into the hand into the thigh. Inhale, soften. Exhale, belly hugs in and up, hip flexor contracts, yes. One more round like this, exhaling and inhaling, softening, letting that right foot float to the floor. Left foot comes up, left palm on the thigh. Exhaling, palm presses into thigh, thigh into palm. Inhale, soften. Exhaling, belly gathers, ribs hug, palm presses. Inhaling, release. One more round like this. Active core, strong hips, and then floating those feet to the earth. Walking them the width of the mat and finding windshield wiper there. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Knees float side to side with the breath. And the next time you come up to center, walk the feet back to hips distance. Your choice. Rolling in and out of bridge or rooting into the foundation for bridge pose, lifting the hips to place a prop under them so you can take legs up the wall. Maybe just the palms of the hands come under the hips. Maybe you're working in and out of rolling bridge. Your body, what do you need? If you're in legs extended or legs up the wall, the legs are about hips distance. They settle into the hip sockets. Soften through the feet. Soften through the back of the neck. Let the chin tuck towards the notch in the collarbone. Settle into your natural rhythm of your breath. Aware of the upper chest and the rise and fall. Bending the knees, allowing both knees to float over to one side, coming into a final spinal twist, maybe extending the arms out in T. What do you notice? Gazing to the fingertips opposite the knees if that suits you. Bringing your focus to the back body, and with your next exhale, soften. Allow a lengthening of the muscles. Allow them to let go. So the breath moves a little deeper. With your inhale, gaze up to the sky. With your exhale, draw the knees up and over to the other side. Softening into your twist on this side. Not forcing, just allowing. Bringing the focus to the back body. And sighing out the breath, allowing a release. Shoulder softens, arm rest. Maybe you gaze to the fingertips opposite the knees if you're not already. Your next inhale, gazing up to the ceiling, exhaling, knees float over the hips, maybe drawing them in for a final hug, final movement. And then coming to rest in Shavasana, and whatever that means for you. Propping, covering up, allowing the body to soften into that support beneath you. Releasing into the earth. The earth that's always there, holding you. Breathing into the vast sky above you. Breathing into the wise heart that rests between the two. Softening the space between the eyes. Softening the jaw, allowing all the muscles in the face to soften and melt to the earth. Allowing the breath to fill the body, restoring, bringing it back into balance. This body, the temple that holds our soul, our wise heart, think of your favorite place to be. Can you hold the image of a beautiful space that brings you peace? How does your body respond to that? Maybe your lips curl into a soft smile. Your eyes soften. The breath moves a little easier. Your heart feels a little lighter. Beauty is like that. And we all find a beautiful in a different way. What is beautiful? Beauty stops you in your tracks so that it's suddenly impossible to continue in the direction that a moment before seemed inevitable. Something pleasurable or attractive enhances the feelings you already have. On the other hand, genuine beauty, like suddenly having no position at all, stops the flow of your feelings. When they resume, they're moving in a different direction entirely. When we pause to rest in stillness in a beautiful place, everything changes. Maybe nothing changes. We're still walking on the same path, but now we have a different intention, a different awareness, a different lightness of heart. Can we carry the beauty that's always there? Can we be aware of that to move us? In the same direction and yet different. two teachings in the reading that I shared with you. First, that each of us is already endowed with a treasure of everything we need. Our enlightenment is already here, as is our kindness and our curiosity and our courage. Second, each of us is free to use that treasure to respond to the life around us. Our freedom to fall willingly into the frightened, blasted, beautiful, tender world, just as it is already here. To know for ourselves that we have that treasure and that we're free to use it no matter the circumstances. This brings a happy life. Finding the courage to see beyond into the beauty that's always there. Just as it already is. Simpleness of the poem with two lines. The nation is destroyed, mountains and rivers remain. We can choose to see the crumbling, the lack of hope, or we can find the courage within us to see the beauty and walk forward there. Starting with ourselves. This precious body that holds our wise heart. Aware of the breath that moves our wise, loving heart. We rest in the stillness. We can become aware of the beauty and the breath that guides the physical body to find what we already know is in our wise heart, our heart's deepest desire. It doesn't seem impossible anymore. Breathing in and breathing out. We celebrate with the breath, knowing that we have everything we need right here within us. Becoming aware of the earth beneath you and the vast sky above you. Allowing your inhales to become even deeper. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. And with your next inhale, maybe extending through the fingertips and then floating the arms to a comfortable feet place. Maybe bending the knees to place the feet softly onto the earth if they're not there already. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Transitioning How will you bring your practice into your life? Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. Bringing to mind the intention you started with. Keep it, change it, repeat it softly to yourself. Pressing into the earth, keeping the eyes softly closed. If that suits you, walk yourself up and over into a comfortable, easy seated position. And with your inhale, allow the arms to float up one more time. And with your exhale, the palms float together to rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts, we bow our heads to honor that perfect light that shines in all of us, uniting us with the intention that our practice be continuous, that our hearts be steady, that our efforts be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May they be happy. May they find their freedom. May they know peace. And may they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me.
Namaste. Thank you, Marie.